All right. Let me check over here. Yep, let's get it out right. All right, Divine Rising, everybody. I got like 1, 2, 3, 4. I think what 5? 1, 2, yeah, 5. Okay, so I added my other Instagram in here. So let me get over here so I can share this out. And we're going to get this started. We're going to talk about the strength of healthy boundaries here in just a moment. And interestingly, I know we all have this thing about, what we think boundaries is, but we're going to get into really what boundaries really is. In my perspective, let me say that, because everybody have their own perspective, and whatever your perspective is, it is absolutely right. I don't down anybody's perspective because it is their truth, and their truth matters just as much as mine does. So I'm going to get this shirt out to all my places. What is going on with that? Hold on. Let me exit that because I don't know. Let's see, share it in the story. Okay, want to share like that? That's fine. I'm not going to force it. I don't force anything that don't want to be what it want to be. So let me share this to my pages, and then we'll go ahead and get this kicked off. And this, my friends, will actually explain a lot about, why. It ain't even a why. The choices I choose, because I don't believe we have to have a reason being adults to do a certain thing. Is things that we choose. These are simply choices we choose, not reasons, but choices. And I am almost done. And I knew it was going to do that. I don't know if I wonder if that's just a Facebook thing. Or when I start to share and then it just goes blank. I think everybody can hear me. If you are tuning in, if you can hear me, let me know. You can hear me. But we're going to go ahead and get this kicked off here in just a moment. Let me just get some things in place over here. And I want to say, if any of you who are watching live with me and would like to um, come join live with me, just click the link. Excuse me, um, in the um, in the comment section. Um, and I don't know how it shows on Instagram, but it shows that you can click live with me. Click that, and you can come live with me. And also here on my one Facebook profile, you can do that as well. The other one has not given me the capability of doing that just yet. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. If you are first time seeing this live or seeing me live, I am Shakita. I am the founder, the creator of Quiet Queens Academy. I live in the great state of Texas, originally from Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma. And I am so delighted to be here on this morning. I've been going live for probably over a month now, I think. Could be longer than that, but I'm not 100% sure. If you see any of my content, you see that I do, and no shame for me, I do use AI because it helps me alleviate all the heavy lifting myself. So I use tools to help me get things moving a little bit faster and helps me get other things done outside of trying to manage those things. And so I, per se, am grateful for, AI. And this is another reason why I come live, is because I am a real human being. So I don't use AI to do my lives. I have done it before, but I come live so that you can see that I am the the person behind all this, okay? And so I like to bring, value to my audience, which is introvert women, quiet queens, and those alike. But I am, when I'm talking to the queens, all right? But however, if you're listening in with me and you find value in what I'm saying, and if you know anyone that could benefit from what I am sharing, or the conversation that I'm having, please do. Now, I'm not going to say please, but if you would share, because y'all know please is like begging. But anyway, if you would, if you feel led to share, if it resonates, to share with someone, do so. I am grateful for that. However, we're going to go ahead and kick this off this morning. The strength of healthy boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls that keep people out. They're bridges that help you remain true to yourself. And so, if you, that is the topic of this morning. And if you're reading the live description, and if you hadn't read it, I'll go ahead and take care of that for you right now. Many people misunderstand boundaries. They see them as rejections, distance, or conflict. Inside Quiet Queens Academy, we see boundaries differently. Healthy boundaries protect your peace, your capacity, and your ability to continue leading with clarity and intention. And so on today, Quiet Queen's principle: healthy boundaries protect healthy leadership. And so, again, let's go ahead and get into this in Divine Rising. Quiet Queens, yesterday we talked about discernment, and discernment helps us recognize what belongs, but recognizing something isn't the same as protecting it. That that raises an important question. Once you know what matters most, how do you protect it? Because life has a way of consistently asking for our attention. Inside Quiet Queens Academy, we believe one of the greatest acts of leadership is learning to protect what matters most. And again, um, if you would, if you're tuning in with me live, let me know that you're tuning in, and let me know where you're tuning in from. And so there was a time when I believe saying yes to everyone made me supportive. And y'all, I am one of the most supportive people on the planet, okay? And what I eventually realized was that every unnecessary yes was quietly becoming a no to something that truly mattered: my peace, my purpose, my priorities. Learning to create healthy boundaries wasn't about becoming unavailable, it was about becoming intentional. And y'all, I speak about intentions every single day. I intentionally do what I do every single day. And so here's a Quiet Queen's principle: healthy boundaries protect healthy leadership. And boundaries don't separate you from people, they help you remain aligned with who you're becoming while still serving others with integrity. All right. So let's get into my first point of this morning. Boundaries begin with self respect. And many people believe boundaries are about changing other people. We're going to bust that up right now. And I believe they're about honoring yourself. So, boundaries is not about changing people, it's about changing yourself and honoring yourself. All right. So, I've learned that boundaries aren't something I place on someone else. They are commitments I make to myself. They're how I honor my values, my time, and my capacity. The clearer I become about my identity, the easier boundaries become. So, where do you find it hardest to say no? Are you current are your current boundaries protecting your values? So, where do you find it hardest to say no? And are your current boundaries protecting your values? And that is something that you can take with you on today. So once we begin respecting ourselves, we stop seeing boundaries as limitations. Instead, we begin recognizing them as protection, right? And so tapping into the next thing, boundaries protect your capacity. right? Every unnecessary obligation quietly consumes emotional energy. And without boundaries, everything feels urgent. With boundaries, you begin leading instead of reacting. And in my perspective, as an introvert, I believe, I excuse, in my, as an introvert, I've become very intentional about protecting my capacity. And as I said before, I'm very intentional about everything that I do. And so, not because I don't care about people, because I want to be fully present when I do. Boundaries allow me to bring my biggest or my best instead of what is left. And y'all look, boundaries allow me to bring my best instead of what is left. So here's something to reflect on. What constantly drains your emotional capacity? What boundary would help preserve your peace? And I repeat that. What consistently drains your emotional capacity and what boundary would help preserve your peace? Because I know I hear people say, it's about protecting my peace, right? Well, sometimes with that, you have to set boundaries. Again, not for the other person, but for yourself, right? And again, it's not limitations, but it's protecting your peace, your capacity. So, as your capacity becomes protected, something beautiful happens. You stop making decisions from guilt and begin making them from alignment. Boundaries preserves alignment. That is my next point here. Every boundary reinforces the life you're intentionally building. Without them, it's easy to slowly drift away from your priorities. And in my perspective, one question I often return to is, does this decision support the woman I am becoming? Right? If it doesn't, that answer gives me permission to respond differently, not from fear, not from obligations, but from alignment. And so, what boundary would create more peace in your life? And what would become possible if you trusted yourself enough to protect it? And here is a Quiet Queen's integration. So today's conversation wasn't really about saying no, it was about boundaries. That is a key word, boundaries, because boundaries grow out of discernment. And that was on yesterday. We talked about discernment. And so discernment grows into clarity, and clarity, it starts with clarity. And clarity strengthens your identity. Identity creates alignment. And alignment gives us the wisdom to protect what truly matters. And this is how the Quiet Queen's operating system works. Each principle strengthens the next. And so many people believe setting boundaries pushes people away. Well, inside Quiet Queen's Academy, we ask a different question. What if healthy boundaries actually created healthier relationships? Because people don't benefit from the exhausted version of you, they benefit from the aligned version of you. And boundaries aren't about building walls, they're about protecting your capacity to love, lead, and serve well. And so, a practical principle for you today, identify one area where you've been saying yes out of obligation rather than alignment. And ask yourself, what would a healthy boundary look like here? Then honor that answer, not to create distance, but to create peace. And so, in closing, I leave you with this question. If protecting your peace was an act of leadership rather than selfishness, what boundary would you establish today? Sit with that because the woman you are becoming deserves to be protected by the choices you make today. And so, if today's conversation resonated with you, I'd love to hear your perspective. What's one healthy boundary that has brought more peace into your life? Your experience may encourage another quiet queen who's learning that protecting her peace is part of protecting her purpose. And thank you for spending another morning with me. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue building the Quiet Queens operating system, one conversation at a time. Y'all have a divine day.